Gemini, do you feel that the sky tonight is unusually quiet? Not the ordinary kind of silence, but a stillness with its own rhythm, as if the universe itself is holding its breath, waiting for something meant only for you. There's a delicate current of energy spreading through the air, gently touching your mind, making you feel both peaceful and restless at the same time. Because tonight, as you fall asleep, something inside your soul is preparing to awaken. Lately, have you noticed yourself thinking more deeply than usual? Questions you've never spoken out loud like, who am I? Really? Or, why do I keep feeling like something inside me is calling my name? The truth is, your soul has been whispering all along, and tonight, the universe will answer in a way you never expected. This is not an ordinary night, Gemini. The energy moving through the sky right now was born for you, the child of wind and light, of reason and emotion. It hasn't come to confuse you, but to help the two sides within you, the one who analyzes and the one who feels, finally find each other. Between dusk and dawn, the hidden part of you will rise to meet the part you show to the world. And what you experience, even if only in a dream, will feel more real than anything you've ever lived. So, before we begin this journey, take a deep breath. Let go of the noise out there, the expectations, the endless thoughts. This moment belongs only to you. Now, make yourself a cup of tea or a warm coffee. Sit down, relax, and let your heart listen. Because what's about to come is not just a story, it's an ancient memory waiting to be awakened within you. Part 1. Cosmic Alignment. When the mind and soul of Gemini begin to meet. Gemini, have you ever felt like your mind never truly quiets down? Even when everything seems calm on the outside, inside you, thousands of thoughts are running in parallel. You hear everything, you feel everything, but sometimes that's exactly why you feel exhausted. Not because you are weak, but because you live in two worlds, the world of reason and the world of emotion. And tonight, those two worlds are moving closer together than ever before. This is no ordinary night, Gemini. Something in the sky is shifting, so subtle, so gentle, yet you can sense it through your intuition. In the stillness of the night, it's as if a transparent wind is weaving through every cell of your being, flowing through your mind, softly stirring the memories you thought had fallen asleep. Those memories are not returning to cause you pain, but to awaken something within you, like a small spark touching the darkness and igniting into flame. For so long, you've lived by the rhythm of logic, analyzing, observing, understanding everyone, yet sometimes failing to understand yourself. You listen to the world, but rarely to your own heart. And tonight, as the universe sends this special frequency to you, it doesn't want you to think more, it wants you to stop and feel. Let your mind stop, searching, and let your soul begin returning. When you close your eyes, you will hear two voices within. One whispers softly, carrying the tone of peace, of trust, of something familiar you have yet to name. The other, the voice of fear, of reason long in control, asks, is this real? Am I imagining this? And in the space where these two voices meet, that is where alignment begins. The universe does not come to you with thunder, but with breath. Not through loud miracles, but through gentleness. It sends signals through intuition, through that strange yet unmistakably real feeling that makes you pause in the night, stare into the void, and sense that something within is shifting. You are being called, Gemini. Called to remember that you are not only a brilliant mind, but also a deep soul learning to balance two shores, knowing and feeling, thinking and living. You might notice that time flows differently tonight. Everything seems to slow down. The sounds around you fade, and suddenly your heart grows still. That is the first sign of alignment. When your soul begins to attune to a higher frequency, your physical body automatically adapts. Your breath deepens, your gaze softens, and inside you, the chaotic thoughts begin to dissolve like clouds. And then, within that silence, you may sense something resetting inside you. You don't need to try, you don't need to understand. Just trust that this energy has come to help you release. It is clearing out the thoughts you've replayed 1,000 times, the old stories you keep retelling without closure. Tonight, all of it is being untied, like ropes that once bound your soul now loosening, thread by thread. Can you feel it, Gemini? That sense of space opening inside your mind, lighter, unburdened. The universe is rearranging everything. What no longer serves you will be carried away by the wind. And what truly belongs to you, the memories, the dreams, the intuition, will be placed back where they are meant to be. Do not try to analyze tonight. Do not try to explain. Because this is not a problem to solve. It is a miracle to feel. When your soul and your intellect begin to meet, a gentle clarity will arise, not the kind of understanding that comes from the mind, but the kind of knowing that comes from the heart. Allow yourself to be fully present in this moment. Take a deep breath and relax. Everything you once believed you had to control, you can now allow it to arrange itself. You don't need to know when or how. You only need to know that it is happening. If you've begun to sense this energy, if there's a feeling rising inside you that you can't quite name, as though something is truly changing, trust that you are right. This is the moment when your soul and your mind are aligning, preparing for a new cycle of awakening. Leave a comment saying, "I am ready to awaken tonight," to affirm your intention with the universe. And don't forget to like and subscribe, so you won't miss the next spiritual messages made just for Gemini. Now, close your eyes for a few seconds. Feel your heartbeat. Hear the wind outside. And realize you no longer need to search for answers elsewhere, because everything you've been seeking is beginning to rise from within you. Part 2. The conversation in the dream. When the two souls of Gemini meet. Gemini, have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, your heart racing, breath unsteady, unable to tell what's real and what's a dream? That feeling, half awake and half asleep, is the moment when the boundary between your two worlds begins to blur. For most people, a dream is just imagination. But for you, Gemini, it's the sacred space where your mind and soul meet to speak the truths you've been hiding during the day. In sleep, the walls you've built with reason begin to fade. There, the two sides within you, the light and the shadow, start to converse. One is the version of you that the world sees. Intelligent, cheerful, adaptable, and deeply understanding of others. The other is your true soul, sensitive, profound, and sometimes weary from playing too many roles. Tonight, within the realm of dreams, these two sides will find each other not to argue, but to understand. You may find yourself in strange dreams speaking with someone who has passed away, meeting a person from your past, or standing in a place that feels both familiar and foreign. Don't dismiss these as coincidences. Every detail in your dream carries meaning. It's your soul rearranging its own story, untying emotional knots buried deep in your subconscious. Every image, every word, every recurring sensation is a message from the universe, helping you see yourself more clearly. You may dream that you are both the speaker and the listener, both the wounded and the healer. The dream becomes a mirror, the most honest reflection of your inner world, where reason no longer hides, and your heart is allowed to speak what it never could before. You might see yourself in a different form, or encounter an older version of you, the one who once believed, once loved, once feared, and then lost themselves. When you dream, you're no longer running away. You are meeting your own soul. In that moment, something sacred takes place, a true spiritual surgery, not with blades, but with light and energy. Your soul is being healed, its frequency recalibrated. The memories that once made you tremble are now being rewritten into strength. The old wounds are being soothed by the love you finally give yourself. And when you wake, you may not recall the dream, but you'll feel lighter, as if some invisible weight has been lifted without you even realizing it. That is the miracle of tonight, Gemini. When your two halves begin to understand each other, something deep within you unlocks. The rational side stops trying to control everything and begins to listen to your emotions. And your emotional side, once afraid of being hurt, starts to trust your own wisdom. This harmony is rare, but you, Gemini, were born to experience it. And then, in one of your dreams, you might find yourself finally saying what you never dared to say while awake. Maybe you apologize to someone, or forgive yourself. Maybe you walk out of a dark place where you'd been trapped for too long. Or maybe you simply stand still, watching another version of yourself, the one who has always been waiting for you, and hear them whisper, "At last, we've found each other again." When those two souls embrace, when light and shadow merge into one, that is the moment you are truly reborn. The universe doesn't need you to understand what's happening. It only asks you to relax, trust, and allow yourself to feel. Because in every dream tonight, a profound dialogue is taking place. Not between you and someone else, but between you and you. Remember this. Tonight's dream is not random. It's a reflection of your soul, a window opening for you to see yourself at your deepest level. Listen to it. Don't treat it as vague images. At some point, you may hear the answer you've been seeking all along, not from others, but from that very voice within your dream. And if you've ever had dreams that left you puzzled, frightened, or stunned by how real they felt, know that your soul was at work. It was rearranging, healing, and preparing for something greater that's about to come. Gemini, don't dismiss those dreams as meaningless. Be grateful that you're awake enough to feel them, because only souls that are ready receive these conversations from the universe. If you've ever had a dream so vivid it left you breathless when you woke, share that story in the comments. Perhaps your dream is the message another Gemini needs to hear on their own awakening journey. And if your soul resonates with what you've just heard, don't forget to like and subscribe so we can continue this path together. The path of souls, learning to return home. Part 3. Liberation from old programs. When Gemini lets go of roles that no longer fit. Gemini, perhaps you've lived too long between two worlds. One world where you shine witty, adaptable, always knowing the right thing to say to make everything feel lighter. And another world, quiet and deep, where you hide your fears, your wounds, and the parts of yourself you believe no one would understand. But tonight, those walls between worlds are beginning to dissolve. A gentle kind of death is taking place, not of the body, but of identity. The masks that once protected you, that once made you loved, are now starting to crack. You no longer want to perform to be accepted. You no longer have the energy to pretend you're fine when you're quietly breaking inside. The cosmic energy tonight is resetting the entire structure of your mind, as if someone were erasing old lines of code from your belief system, reprogramming you with truth, with light, with your original essence. Do you realize that sometimes you don't even know who you truly are, simply because you've spent so long becoming what others needed you to be? You smile even when you're tangled inside. You stay silent when your heart wants to speak. You choose peace, even when a fire is burning within. None of that was wrong. Those roles once helped you survive, helped you be loved, helped you stay safe. But now, those roles have completed their purpose. Tonight, they will be released, not with guilt, but with gratitude. Because only when those false layers die can you truly live. This collapse isn't an ending, it's a liberation. It's like taking off a garment that has become too tight for the body that has grown. At first, it feels strange, empty, cold even, but then you feel that first breath of freedom touch your skin, and you know you are finally alive as yourself. Let those old parts leave without resistance, without force. Your soul knows exactly what no longer fits. It could be a relationship you keep clinging to, a job that drains you but you endure out of fear of instability, or that perfect image you uphold so others think you're strong, even when you want to collapse. Tonight, all of that is being unraveled, gently, but decisively. You might feel a sense of emptiness that's natural. Between the old and the new, there is always a pause, like a breath, held between two beats. Don't fear that silence. Within it, your soul is being reborn. The universe is rewriting you in the language of truth. And the truth is, you don't have to be accomplished to be loved. You don't have to be cheerful all the time for people to stay. You don't have to understand everything to be worthy of peace. You only need to be you, raw, imperfect, sometimes conflicted, sometimes hesitant, but real to the core. Tonight, Gemini will remember how to live not with two faces, but with one unified soul. A soul that knows how to be both rational and emotional, both strong and tender, both analytical and trusting. There is no longer a divide between who you should be and who you really are. The two have merged into one, your most authentic and complete self. You might tremble a little, because when the old protections fade, you feel exposed like never before. But that very vulnerability is what makes you beautiful. The universe has never asked you to be perfect, only to have the courage to be present, as you are. When the sun rises tomorrow, you'll notice that something within has shifted. Without needing explanation, your eyes will shine brighter, your steps will feel lighter, and within, a peace you've never known will settle softly. Because your soul has been renewed, clean, clear, and full of trust. This is not an easy process, but it is a true one, and only those who dare to release the old create the space to receive the new. If these words feel like they're speaking directly to your heart, pause for a moment. Place your hand over your chest, close your eyes, and whisper, "I allow the old parts of me to dissolve, so the light of my true self can rise." And when you're ready for this liberation, write in the comments, "I release my old self," so the universe knows you're ready to step into the next chapter of your journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe, so you can stay connected to the messages meant for your soul, the one learning to live, to love, and to shine authentically. Now, take a deep breath. Exhale slowly. Feel how the air tonight feels different. Because, yes, Gemini, you're not just hearing a message. You are witnessing the rebirth of yourself. Part 4. rebirth, a new mind, a new voice. And then, Gemini, as the night fades and the first light of dawn touches the sky, you begin to realize that something within you has changed. You open your eyes, take a deep breath, and the world feels quieter, not because it's silent outside, but because there is no longer chaos within. Everything feels clearer. You see more vividly, listen more deeply, understand more quickly, yet without rushing. Your mind feels as clear as glass, and your soul, after all these years, finally sees itself through the mist that has lifted. Last night, you traveled through a journey invisible to the human eye. You transformed in silence. The old layers have fallen away, and from within them, a new version of you is rising, gentle, yet powerful, peaceful, yet awakened. This is you, Gemini of the new dawn, no longer the one who just thinks fast, but the one who finally feels deeply. Your energy has been realigned. The dream you had last night was the map for what comes next. The path where you learn to speak your truth, even if your voice trembles, where you set boundaries, even if you fear disappointing others, where you choose what is right for your soul, instead of what is convenient for everyone else. And in every small decision like that, you are being reborn. You no longer need to analyze everything, because your intuition, that ancient energy long asleep, has awakened. It will guide you through turns your logic could never predict. You may begin to notice strange coincidences. Someone saying exactly what you were thinking, a sign appearing the moment you hesitate, or a sudden breeze that makes you shiver as if something is trying to tell you something. Don't doubt it, Gemini. That's the universe speaking, not through reason but through resonance. You used to think peace came from control, but now you see peace comes from trust. When you stop trying to understand with your head and start listening with your heart, everything becomes strangely clear. This clarity is not loud. It's still, deep, and certain, like sunlight slipping through the window, touching the open palms of your hands. When you step outside, others will notice the change. Not because you talk more, but because every word you speak now carries weight. Your tone is calm, your eyes are bright, your energy different. They'll ask, "What happened to you?" But you'll know nothing happened. You simply came home to yourself. This rebirth isn't an outer change, it's an elevation of your inner frequency. You are entering a phase where decisions no longer come from fear, but from wisdom. You say no when your heart feels it's not right, and yes when your soul feels aligned. You stop explaining because you understand those meant to understand you will feel you without words. Gemini, you were born with two souls, one to understand the world and one to understand yourself. For so long, you've only lived through one. Now, both are walking side by side, harmonized, like two wings of the same bird. One is intellect guiding the way. The other is emotions softening the path. And when the two move together, you soar. You may notice that the inner voice, once fragile, trembling, and easy to ignore, is now stronger than ever. It no longer asks for permission to be heard. It speaks with the confidence of a soul that remembers who it is. That is your new voice, not the voice of ego, but the voice of truth. From now on, you will see the world differently. What once frightened you now seems small. Old wounds now feel like dust washed away in new light. You no longer need to protect yourself with logic, because you have become strong enough to love, bright enough to understand, and calm enough to forgive. This is your spiritual dawn, Gemini. The world hasn't changed, but you have. You've survived your longest night, and now you're stepping into the light of awareness. No more division, no more conflict. Only one you whole, awakened, and free. If you can feel this shift spreading through every breath, every heartbeat, let yourself receive it. Don't grasp, don't force, simply trust that you are moving in rhythm with the universe. And if a small voice within you is whispering, "I've truly begun a new chapter," then believe it. Write in the comments, "My new journey begins tonight." So the universe hears you, so you can affirm that your rebirth has begun. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because this journey isn't yours alone. Many other Gemini souls are awakening alongside you. And when we connect, our light reaches even farther. Now, take a deep breath. Feel the light touching you. And know this, you are no longer who you were. You are Gemini renewed, free, radiant, and as brilliant as the dawn you've just welcomed. Part Piench. Confirmation from the universe. When a new reality begins to form, and then, Gemini, as you step out of your dream and open your eyes to a new day, you'll notice something miraculous. The world looks the same, yet everything carries a different hue. The morning light feels clearer, the wind gentler, and your mind, once restless, now sits in a strange, serene stillness. The looping thoughts are gone. The endless why questions have dissolved. In their place is a crystal clarity, a purity as though you've been washed clean of the noise of the past. This is the first sign of confirmation from the universe. The silence in your mind is no longer emptiness, it is peace. You start noticing the small things you used to overlook. A repeating number flashing on your phone screen. A message from someone you haven't heard from in years. A familiar melody playing out of nowhere just as you're thinking of someone. None of these coincidences are random. They are the universe's way of saying, "I've heard you. I see your change." Because the universe always mirrors your energy. When you shift your frequency, reality shifts with you. Once, you attracted people who mirrored your fears. Now, you meet those who reflect your light. Once, you searched for validation from the outside. Now, you hear the voice within, steady, calm, and filled with trust. This is the moment you realize, I don't have to choose between two worlds because I am the bridge that connects them. You understand that logic and spirit are not enemies. They are two rivers flowing toward the same ocean, converging inside you to create harmony. From here on, you will live as a messenger of light, one who understands the unseen and brings it into form through your words, actions, and energy. People around you will begin to sense the change. They'll say you radiate an energy that's hard to explain, both soft and strong at once. Some will feel peace in your presence. Others may feel unsettled because they don't yet understand that light. But don't worry, Gemini. Light never asks for permission to shine, it simply is. As you live aligned with your new self, you'll notice that the things which once worried you no longer matter. Relationships that once confused you now make perfect sense. You no longer need to understand everything because now you feel everything. The inner voice once buried beneath noise and fear now rises, clear and powerful. It guides you like a compass that never fails, and soon you will receive a confirmation signal. It could be a phone call that seems random, but changes your direction, a dream that continues where last night's left off, revealing exactly what you need to know, or simply a quiet, unshakable sense that you are ready, even though no one told you so. That is the universe's silent blessing, the sign that your rebirth is complete. Trust these signs. Allow yourself to enjoy this lightness. You are no longer pulled between extremes, you are standing in the center, where both light and shadow are seen, understood, and loved. That is true freedom. And in that freedom, you begin to recreate your life. No longer reacting to the world, but creating it. No longer seeking answers, but inspiring others to ask their own questions. You become living proof that when a person dares to face themselves, the entire universe rearranges to support them. Gemini, this journey doesn't end here. It's only the opening of a new cycle where you live not just to understand, but to be present, where you no longer speak only with words, but with the frequency of your being. And the universe will keep sending you signs, reminding you that you were never alone. Take a moment now. Place your hand over your heart and whisper, "I am ready to live true to myself." Now, take a deep breath. Feel the breeze brush against your shoulder. Hear the steady rhythm of your heartbeat. Do you hear it? That soft whisper from the universe saying, "You are home now." Gemini, after everything you've just been through, remember this. The universe never takes anything away without bringing something better in return. Every time you let go, you become lighter. Every dream, every vibration, every shift that has happened tonight is all part of your journey back to your truest self. Carry this energy into your life. Speak your truth, even if your voice trembles. Choose what's right for your soul, even if others don't understand. And dare to believe that everything happening is guiding you toward more light, more freedom. If you can feel this message, leave a comment saying, "I am ready to live true to myself," to affirm your new energy. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so the light can reach more Gemini souls out there. Thank you for staying until the very end of this journey. Trust that everything you need is already on its way to you. See you in the next video where together we'll open a new chapter of awakening and peace.